Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Chairman Mast and Ranking Member Meeks. I'd like to speak in support of H.R. 7037, the Developing Overseas Mineral Investments and New Allied Networks for Critical Energies Act, or the Dominance Act. And I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting this bipartisan bill. I also want to thank my colleague, Chairwoman Young Kim, for her commitment to a bipartisan partnership in leading this effort, and all of our colleagues who work together to advance this important legislation. Through multiple hearings, roundtables, briefings over the past year, it's been made clear that U.S. access to critical minerals is not a Democratic or Republican issue, it's an American issue. We know that Beijing is responsible for 90% of the world's rare earth processing capacity, a clear choke point in the rare earth supply chain. Last year, Beijing demonstrated its willingness to weaponize its chokehold on critical minerals by placing export restrictions on rare earth elements critical to the defense, energy, and advanced technology sectors. Thus, expanding domestic capacity for mining, refining, and recycling of critical minerals is imperative to our national security. This bill establishes a Bureau of Energy Security and Diplomacy at the State Department. That's led by a Senate-confirmed Assistant Secretary. This bureau will serve as the central hub for coordinating U.S. international energy and critical mineral strategies across agencies with our allies. Second, the legislation formally authorizes U.S. participation on the Forum on Resource Geostrategic Engagement, or the FORGE Act. In 2022, the Biden administration, in coordination with like-minded allies and partners, launched the Mineral Security Partnership, or MSP, to coordinate investments in projects to secure critical mineral supply chains. Earlier this year, Secretary Rubio announced FORGE would be the successor to MSP. By formally authorizing U.S. participation in FORGE, the bill will strengthen coordination with partner countries on investment, information sharing, and project development to reduce dependence on strategic competitors. Third, this bill establishes energy security pacts that align the diplomatic, development, and financing tools of the State Department, DFC, XM, USTDA, MCC, Commerce, and other agencies to support strategic energy and mineral projects overseas. These pacts will diversify supply chains, build economic resilience, counter economic coercion, and mobilize U.S. private sector investment in developing markets. The bill also invests in the next generation of expertise by expanding mining and critical mineral education programs, including a new critical minerals mining fellowship program and a visiting mining scholars program to strengthen workforce development and technical cooperation with partner countries. In addition, the ANS adds 2 critical lines of effort. It strengthens our diplomatic capacity by expanding Foreign Service Institute training focused on energy and critical minerals, and codifies a special advisor for critical minerals and supply chains on the National Security Council to ensure a whole-of-government approach to critical mineral strategy. In closing, the Dominance Act sends a clear message that the United States is committed to long-term, institutionalized cooperation with our allies and partners to build secure and diversified critical mineral supply chains. It also sends a message to the private sector that the United States is serious about creating durable policy frameworks that encourage long-term investment in secure and transparent mining, processing, recycling, and energy infrastructure projects around the world. I want to thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for working together on this legislation. I'd also like to thank all the stakeholders who have engaged with our subcommittee and provided feedback as we worked on this bill and engaged on these issues over the past year. I urge my colleagues to support this critical bipartisan legislation, and I yield back.